Welcome back, everyone. DJ got his energy. I got my energy drink, and we are straight into draft for game number 3. Jinzhao, Nocturne, Thresh, and come on, finish it out for me so I can be 4. No, we're going to wait. Straight into draft for game 3, though, and it is Ziggs, banned away by Glaive.
Yeah, they didn't like the Ziggs. I'm actually a little surprised by that, considering that they did kind of outplay it, but it did again kind of warp the game and create a bit of an awkward angle that Glaive tried to take advantage of. They just weren't able to go far enough. And before we get farther in this draft, this is what I want to say. I got 10 cc's of AM grind coffee running through me now, Necrox, but I gotta see it here from Glaive.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, this is the time. You guys are heavy league pedigree. You are heavy league history here. Trivia Boy is sitting here in chat as a reigning champion. This org has that crown waiting for you guys, and you have all been here. You know how to win. Giga, Tooper, McShootums in mid league. These guys are titans of their respective divisions. I got to see it come out here. You guys can do better than game number 2. You guys can beat Lotus and make this a series. I believe it can and should happen. Show it to me now, baby.
Reverse sweep on the cards, DJ. You know what? I'm a Lotus fan. We all know it. But god damn, if there's a reverse sweep, I'm going to be so happy. I would love to see a game 5. Love to see it. We'll see if we can, though. Not sure that Glaive have it in them. They just kind of haven't done very much. As much as it pains me to say it, they've sort of keeled over and given to Lotus's win condition, which is allow them to scale, allow them to get to neutral objectives. Lotus gonna first pick this Viego, but the immediate response here for Glaive is the Troll under the bridge in the Trundle.
Yeah, Trundle, a very early selection of the Trundle. They'll also head for Tooper's Ezreal. This is a big time comfort pick for the Tooper, handing one of their senior players here, one of their most experienced players, something that he can perform on. And it's going to be up against that Aphelios. Waffle will lock it in and lock in the win condition. Be advised that this is once again Waffle picking this into a suboptimal situation. Ezreal is traditionally a counter to Aphelios because it does everything that Aphelios hates, which is not interact with you, not let him give autos on you, right? Do anything. It's typically something Aphelios hates, but Waffle Wheel will play this champion nonetheless, and this is the bottom lane for Lotus. The Nautilus is Kiwi's most played 7, now 8 games on it this season. This is their bread and butter alongside the Viego, and it's going to be up to Glaive to overcome this if they want to keep themselves alive in Heavy League.
Need to find the fire under their feet here, Glaive, to keep this series alive and keep their chance of getting back-to-back titles alive. Would love to see it happen. We'll see, though, if they can. Leon is going to be the pairing. Good counter into the Nautilus. There is a little bit of counterplay with Zenith Blade. Find the hook in, bounce back. A very intensive matchup, but we'll see how these supports can play. Kiwi very comfortable on this Nautilus. I can certainly look to find the angle there. Glaive have a lot of crowd control and a lot of safety in their board. Lotus, a lot of comfort, and the power pick in the Viego. Karthus actually banned away by Glaive. Very respectful.
Yeah, it is a respect ban at the end of the day, but they could be still looking at a jungler. This Viego could end up there, but why let that one sit up in the R2 ban phase? It is a scaling composition already with the Aphelios in, so the Karthus could add to that. Just take something away, right? Take anything away. Change anything from the way this series has been going. I can at least appreciate that. But this R4 pick is going to be crucial to set up that counter pick on R5. They already have this Leona bot lane, a tried and true bottom lane. You can roam away. You can play for lane if you do catch your opponent off guard. Ornn, very safe pick here on R4, will certainly allow for some team fighting. And again, another pick that Aphelios absolutely hates, right? You hit that R button, it slows him down once. You hit that R button, it knocks him up twice, and he just can't interact. That's what Aphelios wants, is interaction. So far, Glaive doing a good job of not giving him that, but it's all going to be about this R5. They only have one damaged character at this point. They're going to need a big threat here for their mid laner Puffles at the end of this draft.
Yeah, and it's a pure front to back from Glaive as well, right?
What?
There is okay.
Is that actually Tamuel Kench?
It is Thomas Conch, the famous there in the river. Interesting because he probably will be going top lane, I would imagine, for Accelerate. Okay. I mean, he's a front line. He can press R and Aphelios, give him a shield, stop the knockup from coming through or the solar flare. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted Peel, I guess that's the way to get it. And the response here from Glaive is what JVL played in game one. It is the Rise. You wanted a lot of damage. That champion can do it.
That champion can do damage. It's going to be interesting, Necrox. I feel like this is a bit tricky to deal with Waffle Wheel. I think they've done a little bit to disrupt him with the Ezreal and the Ornn. I don't quite know if it's enough. A lot of this, I think, will come down to Puffles on this Rise. He is the scaling alongside the Ornn for Glaive Onyx. They need him to be huge in this game. They need him to get ahead. They need him to turn into a machine gun and a side lane threat. The later the game goes, Rise can absolutely destroy Sylas on a side lane. It's really hard for Sylas to dish out enough damage to push through the extra health that will be built on this Rise. Puffles is the one that's going to need to have the game of his life to be the power point for Glaive. Everyone else needs to do their part to disrupt Waffle, but he's the one that's going to need to carry.
Yeah, and it's JVL and Waffle versus Puffles and Duper this game. It is a straight up matchup that it's who does more damage to the enemy front line. You have Kiwi here in the front line along with Accelerate on the Tahm Kench. I imagine he's somewhere close to that front line. And you have the front line from Glaive as well. You have a big meatball in Ornn. You have Leona as well. So it's just a straight up front to back. Who can play it better? Who can output more damage? And the way the series has been going, I don't think that was ever Glaive's win condition. It makes me a little nervous, to be honest. I just don't see Glaive out team fighting Lotus, or at least we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. It hasn't been enough to overcome Lotus, but you don't get any more chances, Necrox. If this is the comfort, this is what they have to go with. I have to believe this is what they want. They're going to have to find a different angle. Do something that is uncomfortable even for you, and maybe it is uncomfortable for the enemy as well. That's what I think Glaive needs to be thinking as they go into this game. Look for those early plays. See if McShootums can get a couple of ganks here in the mid lane. Onto Sylas, 2v2 with the Viego. Get Puffles ahead and let this man try to carry. It is do or die. I mean, analytical points aside about how these comps will interact with each other, Necrox, you've already touched on it. The bigger point is just, can Glaive do enough to disrupt what Lotus want to do? The answer thus far has been no. There was a moment in game one where it should have been prior to that fourth Drake fight. They need to find that extra little bit, that extra mojo to overcome this juggernaut.
Yeah, and they're going to need a lot of mojo to push through the wall that has been Lotus this series. It feels like they've just been stronger at any necessary turn. Time to get into the weeds a little bit here. I want to ask you about the new Tahm Kench, obviously something that people have a lot of strong opinions on. Personally, I'm of the opinion he is no longer a supportive style champion. He is an engage option. But I'm curious, do you think he's going to play towards Waffle Wheel this game, or is he going in aggressively with that new W button?
I mean, I think he's just there to be a front line. He's someone that makes it a little tricky for Trundle to ult because he usually is relying more on a shield and health than resistances. That's possibly why it's taken. It is an extra option for Waffle Wheel. I don't think Tom really does that much, if I'm being honest. I've seen it played once by Gamsu. I've seen it played once here. I don't think the champion is very good. I don't think it offers a whole lot. I think the engage is extremely predictable. I think it's easily pathed around. I don't know exactly what the reasoning here is for Accelerate selection. If we ever get an interview from Lotus, we can ask them, but at the very least, it will provide an additional safety button for Waffle Wheel in the later stage of the game. But if you are talking about engage, Tahm Kench for me is at best follow-up engage. There's no way he's actually initiating a fight with how slow that W is. He'll probably be sitting more on top of Waffle Wheel until either not Yoshi or Kiwiism lands some sort of hook or stun.
Okay, I buy that train. Maybe Kiwi can land the knockup into another one from Accelerate, and they can layer the CC from there. We'll see, though. Definitely an unknown quantity in Heavy League, the new Tom Kench. Have not seen much of it, if any of it, at all. I think this is the first week that it is allowed once again. The other end of the coin, Puffles picking up this rise, has a lot of side lane pressure, has a lot of push in this champion, but he just hasn't had the edge over JVL tonight. Last game really showcased what the edge meant. It's not solo kills, it's not fancy outplays, it's just farm differential. Who can last hit creeps better, who can find better wave states and better recall timers, and JVL has had the upper foot in that matchup.
Sure has. But no more talk time, Necrox. Throw to break. I want game. Throw to break. Come on, Glaive. Show me what you've got. Put it all out on the table.
All right, DJ's rooting for Glaive. I'm rooting for more games, man. I want a semifinals like we had. I want a game 5, and I want a reverse sweep on the table. Glaive, show me what you got. Lotus, though, please don't throw this series away. We're going to game 3, whether Lotus are going to clean sweep their way to finals, looking for their first crown in the organization history, or whether Glaive looking to take it away and find themselves back-to-back championships. We'll be on the Rift in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Welcome everyone to the Rift for what could be our final match here on the second stream. Quick update on what's going on the other end. It is Glaive taking on, it is Sparta Prime taking on Who Flashed That Fight, formerly known as VBO. Sparta Prime 2-1 up in this series against the returning, formerly champions. Glaive obviously have this ring on their finger for now, but I'm hoping, DJ, there's something that Glaive can provide, some spark they have ignited in comms or something, because they have laid down and taken a beating in this series so far, and I'm hoping they're going to throw a couple quick punches to start this one off.
Yeah, so am I, Necrox. You've heard me in my excitement. I want a series here. I want Glaive to show me when I know they can. Show me that there's a little extra in the tank. Get a little uncomfortable. Make Lotus a little uncomfortable. Give me the game that we know you can play. It was there for the first 20 minutes of game number 1, 25 even, but it just disappeared in one quick play, was snapped away from them as they slid down the hill. That game 2 looked nothing like game 1. It looked like a very specific plan that went awry with no hope of salvation on the back end. I know Glaive can do better. I want them to do better and stand up to Lotus.
All right, we'll see if they can do that in this game. They're going to need to if they want a chance at the finals. This is of course, match point. Waffles thinking about starting Cole this game, had in his inventory, decided against it, going for the D-Blade, so everything is just about normal. Puffles starting tier in this lane instead of something like the Sapphire Crystal, which can be one of Rise's starting items. Giga opting for this Corrupting Potion as well. Junglers headed in the same direction, I believe. Yes, as long as I am not mistaken. Both have to clear out their bottom side buffs, and McShootham's on Trundle actually has quite a bit of early game power to skirmish.
Yeah, he certainly does, and he certainly has more of it than most of the jungle meta at the moment. That pillar, always a massive tool for setting up any kind of gank, and I do think he has a couple options. Tom Kench doesn't have the best escapes, right? If he has to jump over your pillar, you can set up the other one with the Ornn. Same can be said for mid lane, where Silas only really has one escape and it's short, but actually potentially looking bottom early on. He is pinged out.
Yeah, ward there as well, so Lotus know what's going on. They sniff this one. McShootham's still thinking about pushing down here, going through try, but Kiwi is warding that one now. So that angle is now cut off for McShootham's. Meanwhile, Not Yoshi wants to head back up towards top side, get a crab under his belt as McShootham secures that bot side. So even trading all across the board so far, except the one camp that Yoshi has up on this Trundle, because Raptors is not something that the Trundle likes to do early.
Yeah, Raptor's not Trundle's favorite camp. More of a single target camp, kind of clear. This ain't no Kane, Necrox. This ain't no sweeping slash. Right? You got all the names in it, right? He's just got a club. He just goes bonk. He's got a little pillar, and he's got
and chomp.
Like, circle zone. Speaking of bonk and chomp, 2v2 and then
Yeah, maybe looking for the Kingslayer. Gonna bring JVL high enough HP to survive, and they're gonna grab it. Return right back into JVL, but Lotus get first blood. But Yoshi's looking for more with the resets. Double kill the Trundle, but that's not your Trundle. It's our team's Trundle. Lotus get themselves a 2-1 start.
Yeah, just an extra level on Not Yoshi is the big help in that fight. Of course, also is a Viego, so any reset gives you the full HP bar, the extra stats. That's what allows the double kill to come through. Big time stuff here from Lotus. I at least like that Glaive are fighting in that 2v2, recognizing the potential gank in McShootums. He's trying to make some more work happen. This is really good stuff. He's going to make a gank in topside.
Whoop, that's not where you want to go. Accelerate, gonna be knocked up by the Searing Charge, and I don't think there's an easy way out of this one. Giga's gonna back off and make sure McShootums can finish off the kill. Trundle now grabbing his first as he bites down on the catfish for a tasty snack. Meanwhile, bot side, Jado getting rooted, still a hook available. Jado now has to get the heal from Tooper. Waffle has the Gravitum on him, gets the flash away with a beautiful hook from Kiwi, and Lotus winning just about every 2v2 this series, but Giga and McShootums trade it for a kill topside.
Yeah, they're very far ahead in this bottom lane, but I love this from McShootums. Just skips all of his camps, says, nope, we're going. Tooper.
Okay, hook in. Tooper has to walk away with the Arcane Shift, and Jado has to flash. That is both flashes and both combat summoners burned in the 2v2 alone.
Yeah, that is really dominant on the bottom side for Waffle as it has been for much of this series. Fortunately, they do stay alive to pick up the XP. Meanwhile, Yoshi's just right in McShootums' face to level up, and Puffles' wave's getting shoved in. He's just going to take these away. Nice stuff by Yoshi, punishing the fact that McShootums is behind due to his decision to gank the top lane right after dying. I still am very fine with the decision. These are the kind of plays you need to make. You need to change it up, try to get people ahead, and that's what McShootums is trying to do. These small punishments here and there, I think, are worth it to change some of the tempo of this series and try to get something going for your team. This not looking good, though, for Jado.
Jado has to run, but he has no escape path. Chains over the wall, uses his Zenith Blade to get away. But they will pass the kill to Waffle Wheel, and he's in the driver's seat with a kill to his name at 6.5 minutes.
Yep, disrespecting the level 6 from JVL. He just steals away the Rise ultimate of all ultimates. The non-combat ulti coming in clutch. Jado is caught way out of position. That's a freebie for Waffle, and the first time all series that Lotus with the scaling composition is going to take the first Drake.
Get that first Drake to their name and start this game 3 off right. Giga using the Searing Charge to get away from the Abyssal Voyage. Not a phrase you would hear all too often if you were to revert back a couple patches. Lotus here with a firm control over this game, looking for another play in the mid lane. Nice hook in from Kiwi. Puffles going low, but JVL even lower. McShootums is here, chopped down in JVL's kill number 1, but now comes the reset in from Yoshi as he trades it back into Puffles, rooted, and a heartbreaker. Yoshi, my public apology starts now. This is the carry for Lotus, and he's 4-0-1.
Oh my god, Necrox, this is an absolutely monstrous Viego, and now the TP's coming in, flashing from Waffle. Tooper's as dead as could be.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful from Lotus. Every advantage played perfectly, and Glaive now at death's door are trying to run from Yoshi once again. The sentence might be
everywhere,
new, but the
Necrox
is not. Giga having a flash, but swallowed up by the catfish. Unstoppable, be damned. Accelerate grabs himself a kill and chomps right back as Lotus once again tack another onto their scoreboard.
I mean, what can you say, Necrox? We wanted Glaive to come out firing to show that they were not going to take this sitting down, that they were going to stand up to Lotus, and Lotus must have heard me, because they're the ones who have come out firing. They're the ones that got hyped up here, Necrox. They have been insane in this early game, and they're at it again. Puffles is in so much trouble. He's going to get interrupted. He's going to go down. Glaive, they are falling apart. Lotus is everywhere. And they are dominating this game. An incredible showing, Necrox.
Kiwi was holding Puffle's hand to the river. It is a dance, and it is beautifully executed from Lotus. Kiwi goes mid. They don't even need the skill shots to kill him off. Lotus, man, this team, I was talking to him before this series. JVL and Yoshi, if they won game 1, they were going to clean sweep. And now in game 3, I would not put it past him to do exactly that. Giga has to back off his wave for what feels like the 10th time in only about 9 minutes. This series has gotten so far out of hand for Glaive. I just don't know what could bring him back. Tuper getting hooked in, knocked up as well in the bot lane. Won't find any kill, though. Is pretty hard to kill and lock down in Israel.
Yeah, I think he ultied the wrong person there. A little unfortunately. Accelerate gonna find a jungler in the bush, and he's just dead.
Okay, all right. McShootums actually living at 1 HP, beautifully peeled away from Giga. Now he's going down, though. Here comes Puffles to reinforce the squad. JBL not too far away as well. Everyone's so low. Puffles flashing over the wall. And this looks like fish in a barrel to me, my friend. 3 members at 1 HP under a turret, and guess who's coming in to assist the dive? It's JBL, Accelerate, and Yoshi tacking up the score. Yoshi will fall, but so will Accelerate. A botched dive, and Glaive get 2 for free.
Oh my god, it could have been a cleanup crew there, but they just couldn't find the damage for Yoshi to get the reset. That's a big shutdown that goes over to Giga, and you kind of answer your own question there, Necrox. You wanted to know what it would take for them to get back in this game. Well, a Lotus mistake is certainly going to help that cause. Still a long way to go. Tuper has to... Oh!
My god! Waffle Wheel just obliterates Tuper under his own turret, and now McShootums might be the next item on the menu. Accelerate thinking about pulling off a dive, but JVL will not assist, so McShootums will survive. But Glaive, just as they were getting back in it with 2 kills, lose out under their turret as Waffle puts on a show.
I mean, yeah, we want to be hype about Glaive potentially coming back, getting that shutdown in the top lane, but it's only on to Giga. This is a 3-0 of Felios. It's Waffle Wheels 3-0 of Felios, Necrox. We saw exactly what happened in game number 1, and he's even going for that lethality. This is absolutely insane. Gonna put on a clinic, and again, it's already very difficult to deal with Waffle Wheel. It will get harder and harder unless you can lay the perfect overlay of CC, the pillar, into the Ornhorn, into some sort of damage from Puffles, but that is not going to be easy, Necrox.
It's so terrible, this game as well, the lethality, but I just don't think he cares. He is just so damn strong, and he has been so damn good all split, and this series is... It doesn't matter that he has lethality, he just wants more kills, and it assisted in getting the kill onto Tuper as he has Arcane Shift away, and Lotus claim their second Drake for free. Giga using the Ornhorn, and here comes the play onto Accelerate with a nice Realm War, bringing the whole squad up. And I hope you like seafood, because catfish is on the menu. But so will Tuper, though. That's the return play. It's the easiest rule of physics, my friend. There's always something on the other end.
Yep, there is a Rift Herald on this side of the map, though. So Glaive are going to be trading up on this trade, I believe, although they are going to lose a full turret in the bottom lane. What's the menu item for Ezreal? Catfish on the menu in top lane. What's Ezreal? Tiny...
I don't think that's legal in most states.
Wait, what?
Huh? Anyway, this game, League of Legends, Crab Smite goes to Yoshi Poggers.
Oh, no. He's even taking that away. Oh, Tuber, what are you doing, buddy? You can't dash forward.
What? Flash per flash. At least that one is probably in favor of Glaive, right? Ezreal has a shift. Waffle Wheel has guns and has damage. Now it needs to be careful. This Moonlight Vigil does a whole hell of a lot of damage with lethality. Does whiff it, though. So that's one missed skill shot from Waffle Wheel. Now he's on the run with a teleport behind him. This is a big shutdown to be handed over. It's 800 gold, but Giga and Jado are the only ones around. Finally, they can maybe give it to Tooper. Accelerate showing up, but he's the one to grab it. Tooper grabbing 800 gold, accelerating Kiwi, and JVL now reinforcing the fight. It is Lotus having a numbers advantage, and it is Glaive that are dropping, and Lotus ain't stopping with a beautiful consume from Accelerate. He finds a kill, and now with a beautiful double knockup to follow. Jado's going low. One more lick. How many does it take to get to the center of a Leona? Not too many more. Accelerate will fall, and Kiwi will drop as well in the back end of the fight. JVL and Yoshi on the run with a numbers disadvantage now at a 2v3. Maybe thinking about pursuing a little bit more. They do not have enough reinforcements to continue. McShootums has a pillar available here, but will not use it as everyone gets away. But Glaive getting a lot of gold back in their pockets.
Yeah, they get a lot of gold back. I think Lotus having a little bit too much fun. Necrox, Waffle Wheel just on an island. He thought he had enough support. It wasn't there in time. And despite some very nice footwork and mechanics from Accelerate, the extra member comes first for Glaive in McShootums. Yoshi not there at the start of the fight. He's where a lot of their damage is at the moment. And without him, they get a little bit too overeager, but it doesn't really change the state of the game. As you can see, Waffle Wheel, he's just diving a turn on a top laner. He might die here.
Oh, no! Giga missed! Giga missed his Ornhorn. He's so lucky that Tooper landed that true shot barrage to help him out. But Waffle feeling a little bit too big for his britches. Now Kiwi may just pay the price, or instead, just kidding, surprise, it's Jado going down. The resets are in for Yoshi. Heartbreaker does not get him over the pillar, so it forces his flash. Here comes the rest of Glaive, though. Yoshi using the ulti once again to get over the wall, but Keely will fall as Tooper claims kill number 2 for himself. And Glaive once again make out with a few kills that they probably shouldn't have, but Lotus, man, they're just having some fun.
Yeah, the happy feet a little bit too much here, man. This is like a beginning of the movie where, you know, he's like sliding his feet all over the place. He can't quite stand up. He's not a full-fledged penguin yet. That's the kind of happy feet we've got from Lotus at the moment. They're just having a little too much fun, but I will reiterate the point that this largely doesn't change the state of the game. 5 kills onto Waffle Wheel. He is just shredding folks. Ow, McShootums, you can't do this, buddy.
I think flash. No way out, and no life to give. Waffle 6-2-0.
And here is Exhibit A of the state of the game. Waffle Wheel, very strong, ladies and gentlemen. He is approaching that 2-item mark. He has, well, actually, yeah, he's got to get in there. I'm not, he's building Collector, right? That's what he's going for here?
Yeah, it's a terrible build, but yeah, he's doing Collector.
Yeah, it is a terrible build into this composition. There are 2 champions that are going to be very tanky with a lot of armor that you will never execute. But, you know, like we said, happy feet, happy times, I suppose, here for Waffle. He is still extremely strong, and even if there is a bit of a trough on 2 items for tanky champions, there will not be for squishies like poor Mr. Tooper here. And he will continue to get stronger with more and more items. It will continue to get harder to get onto him as Accelerate becomes more tanky as well. So still very up against it are Glaive. And now at the 3rd Drake, they are hovering around like they want a challenge, but they are very late. And Giga, what are you doing, buddy?
Giga is literally smaller than Kiwi. I mean, the Nautilus is bigger than the Ornn at this point. This isn't supposed to be the way League of Legends works, my friends. And Giga goes down. Drake secured 3-0 in terms of Dragons. And now Lotus, as a 5-man group, will look to knock down mid-tier 1. Root up pillar as well. Maybe they can find the kill and Accelerate, but just kidding. He uses the river to his advantage and just dips out. About 10% HP left on the turret. Everfrost not able to find the mark, but with 440 HP, that thing's gonna fall. Kiwi flash engage, and they found the mark. They found Puffles, and he falls again. JVL's on a rampage. Waffle's unstoppable, and Lotus as a team are just godlike. maybe there's a re-engage to be found. Giga cannot throw the own horn fully out. JVL going low. Exhaust is beautiful. It's a shutdown given over to Tupper, who now has to flash away. Kiwi out of mana. Waffle has red-white, though. A lot of damage still left to be had on this Aphelios. Now it's a beautiful kite-back combination. You have to be careful. Waffle does so much damage, shooting a billion chakrams into Mashudum's back. But the fight will dissolve, and Lotus get what they came for. It is structures destroyed.
Structures destroyed, soul point on the table, enemy jungle completely forfeit. Welcome to being 5k gold ahead at 19 minutes. I mean, honestly, the lead doesn't even quite do it justice how far away Lotus are, because the scaling members are the fed members. That collector is now completed for Waffle Wheel. He has another pickaxe in his inventory, working towards 3. Like, this is so very dire. Puffles is not ahead of any of the members that could match him in a side lane, and team fighting is still incredibly difficult for Glaive when you only have an Ezreal and a not fed Rise, right? Where is your damage going to come from? How are you going to get to the back line onto Waffle Wheel and deliver the killing blow? In game 1, you had a LeBlanc and a Varus where their arrows could travel through enemy champions. That isn't going to happen here at Necrox. The fighting is going to be so awkward from Glaive. I just don't see the ways in which they really get onto Waffle unless Waffle is playing like he was here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's really rough for Glaive, and I've talked about it all night long. It feels like Glaive have not given up, but have really fallen over in the series and have not been pursuing active plays. This time it was Lotus the one pursuing active plays. They were the ones just willing to run at the enemies at all times, and it has truly paid off for them. I would imagine this game is just about wrapped up. There is still a chance for Glaive, of course. There's always a miracle steal. There's always an option for McShootums to steal away some sort of objective. If you do want to stick around, make sure to check out the Valorant series that's happening on Sunday. That hopefully will be a closer series than this one, with a couple big heads in the Valorant scene headed at each other. But still waiting to find the outcome of this one. But I would imagine, TJ, that you and I are in the same thought. Looks like Lotus is making the way to finals.
Yep, it certainly does. Glaive, again, it's going to take an absolute miracle. There is a point at which, you know, level 16 Ornn with a lot of ornaments on his teammates, something goes wrong and you could turn this around. But again, it's going to take more from Lotus than it does from Glaive at this point, just by the nature of the composition and the players piling in the champions, right? We haven't seen a lot of mistakes from Lotus when they've been playing seriously. I think it's been fairly obvious to see the mistakes they've made here have been having a little bit of fun. So it will take some big mistakes, a miraculous team fight, perfect synergy from Glaive, and it's not something we've seen in this series. Moments, glimpses, sure, nothing consistent enough to convince me that they are overcoming this 4K deficit at the moment, with the soul spawning in 45 seconds and none of their critical members outside of Tupper at any sort of significant item spikes. Those 2 items for Ezreal, yeah, they're great, but nobody else is really there.
Oh, Tupper could get locked down here. Has to Arcane Shift away. Root will come through, but they weren't looking for the kill. They're looking to save their cooldowns, DJ, for Mountain Soul. Champions like Tom Kench and Nautilus love that soul. Gives them a lot of extra resistances and survivability in fights, but you can't discount the ability that Waffle should never die this game, but how he's actually never going to die. With Mountain Soul under his belt, that extra shielding just makes it that much harder to actually find the kill. And it's Lotus looking on to Giga once again, using the charge to get away, but Waffle's still in the front line. Meanwhile, on the other end of the fight, McShootums is gonna fall, and they grab Giga, both frontliners down. And the Moonlight Vintage will finish them off. It is a massacre in the top side. It's a massacre in the bot side. And it's a massacre in the series as Lotus wipe away the stain that is Glaive out of Heavy League and now push down mid lane. It may be over just like that.
Yeah, it might. The timer's still 10 seconds. They could risk it. They could, of course, play it safe and go back for Soul, but they're not feeling safe in this game, Necrox. They're feeling like they are headed to the Heavy League Finals.
Lotus, who have never crowned themselves champions in Heavy League for 3 seasons in a row, have felt robbed, have felt that they deserve that crown, and they'll give themselves an opportunity to do so as they prove themselves victorious and have a spot in the grand final.
Yes, they do, Necrox. And in what fashion? This is the team that plays slow in Heavy League. They have the highest game time by some margin, nearly 3 minutes before the next team comes in that made it to playoffs. They play for late game, they play for scaling. We saw it twice in game 1 and 2. Game 3, nothing like those 2 games. That was a blitz. That was an absolute siege on the mental, on the pride, on everything that Glaive is and stands for. And Lotus just blew them away from start to finish. An unbelievable performance in game 3. This is a team that came to play, that came to prove that they belong, and will now get the chance to prove that against the best of the best in the final for the Heavy League crown.
So excited to see where this team can go, and with performances like that, I'm not sure that there's much in their way. If you do want to see what's in their way, you can always check out the other stream that is headed on right now. They are 2-1 Sparta Prime, who Flashlight Fight still looking to prove themselves as a championship contender. But for now, Lotus have 3-0. They have clean sweep their way through Glaive, and man, it's convincing. It's strong. It's aggression. It's absolutely phenomenal to see what Lotus could do. And they were right. If they won game 1, they were going to roll this series, and rolled Glaive were.
Yeah, absolutely rolled. It was convincing, and it got more convincing as the series went on. Game 1, definitely the closest of the bunch. Glaive put on a pretty good show in the first 25 minutes, but Lotus overcame them, and game 2 was nowhere near it, right? There was a point at which we all sort of felt just this void kind of open up on Glaive when we realized they can't win these fights. This game is dead, and now they're up against the wall. There was hope that they could bring it out, bring something different to try to turn the tides of the series. It was Lotus who kicked it up another notch. They came to prove that they are the best. They certainly were here tonight. They only got better, and hopefully that progression does continue, because now just 3 wins separate themselves from a title.
And for the first time, they're looking to grab it. I was talking to the team last night, how they felt about the series. Obviously, they were confident coming in, rightfully so. And just listening to the wholesomeness that they had coming in, they were grateful for everything the Lotus org had done for them. They were grateful for what Excellency has provided them, but they still had a feeling that they hadn't reached their max potential. They hadn't actually pushed their limits all the way, whether it was top lane issues originally, or having roster changes here and there. They just felt they fell short every time. And maybe, just maybe, there's something here that can push them across the finish line. And honestly, I think we know who it is, and I think we know what it is. It is Bot Kingdom in Waffle Wheel.